Sam Ongoro. Kindly subscribe to my YouTube channel. My YouTube name is Sam Ongoro. Now, if there is anything I hate in this life, is poverty. I hate poverty by all means, by all standards. I hate poverty. And here is the reason why I hate poverty. You know, poverty can make you lick the wounds of those people who inflicted the sufferings in you, or those who inflicted those injuries on you. Poverty can make you lick the wounds of people who caused you the scars. Poverty is not a respecter of anyone. In fact, actually, poverty can make you lick the wounds of those who caused you the scars in the past. So, what am I trying to say here? All I'm trying to say is simple. Let us try to fight poverty. An enemy of man is not another fellow human being, but poverty. If anything that we need to fight by all means, with all of our strength and energy, is poverty. Let me give you a few examples as to why I hate poverty. Poverty is something that can make you do things that in normal circumstances you wouldn't have done. Things that you cannot do in normal circumstances. But because of poverty, you are forced to do things that are inhumane, work in conditions that are not favorable to human beings. Number one, why I hate poverty. Remember, there are a lot of people in places where they work. Not that they are appreciated, they are mistreated. They are mistreated at their workplace. There is a lot of people who, where they work, they are mistreated. But because of poverty, because they need the little coin, they are still there. There are people who are working for people who have mocked them previously. People who have done them a lot of injustices. People who have done a lot of wrong things and bad things to their families. But they are still working for the same people. And guess why? Because of poverty. They need the little coin. These are some of the things that makes me hate poverty. And I wish my fellow human beings, we can join hands to fight poverty, not fighting one another, not fighting a sister, not fighting a brother, not fighting your neighbor, your relatives, your family, your friends. They should not be your enemy. The enemy for every man is poverty. Number two, there are people in marriages where they are not celebrated or appreciated, but because they have no money to start afresh somewhere, or they have no money to move out, they are still in that marriage just because they have no option. Just because of poverty, they are stuck in a very toxic marriage. There's a lot of people in very toxic relationships. Just because of their poor or their family background, they cannot move or start afresh somewhere. They are limited on what they can do. Ladies and gentlemen, there are people in marriages nowadays just because of their children. Since they want the best out of their children or the best of their children, They are stuck in that marriage where they are just but tolerated. They are not accepted, celebrated, or enjoyed, but they're there because of their children. They want the best of their children. They want their children to get school fees to go to school. They want their children to have a roof over their head. They want their children to have shelter. And they have their children to have a good life tomorrow. And that's why they are in very toxic relationships just because of their children. Ladies and gentlemen, I have so many reasons as to why I hate poverty. And I wish no one to experience poverty in my generation. Let us join hands. Ladies and gentlemen, there are parents who have married their daughters off to people or to families that have caused them pain in the past. They have married off their daughters to families that humiliated them before and embarrassed them or put them to shame just because of poverty. They married their daughters of those families just because they have some little kaching kaching. Kaching kaching means they have a little money. Ladies and gentlemen, let's work and work. The only way to solve poverty is by working. It doesn't matter where you start, but how you finish. It doesn't matter what kind of job. The job might be beneath you. My brother, my sister, grab that job with two hands. When opportunities come, they come in small amounts. Start small, eventually you will grow big as time goes by. And guess what? The plan that God has for you in your life will come to pass. So start somewhere so that we can fight poverty. Ladies and gentlemen, there are many young men staying with older men, older women who are the age of their mothers, even older than their mothers, just because of poverty. Because those women, older women, have some money. So these young men have really sacrificed their ambitions, their future goals, to stay with an older woman so that they can provide for their upkeep. Ladies and gentlemen, poverty is not funny unless you have experienced it. And if you are one of those guys who are enjoying affluent life without suffering or going through some tough time, struggling, just thank your God that somebody suffered for you in the past. Ladies and gentlemen, there are a lot of young girls dating or going out with old men who are supposed to be the age of their grandfathers. But it's not because it's their choice, but because of poverty. They are going out with those men who are the age of their grandfathers so that they can meet their bills, so that they can get food on the table. And some of them just do it to eliminate the poverty from their families. However, it's not funny. Poverty, ladies and gentlemen, believe me you, it can make you lick the wounds of the same people that caused you the same injuries before. It's not funny. There is a lot of girls, young girls, beautiful girls, who have dropped out of school because they have gotten pregnant for sleeping with people so that they can feed their families. Ladies and gentlemen, there is a lot of young men and women whose future is being deterred just because of poverty. We have very young, intelligent, wise young people who have dropped out of school because their parents cannot afford to pay school fees for them. We have a lot of young people who have lost hope. just because of poverty. Ladies and gentlemen, there are a lot of young girls who risk their lives out there by going out with the people who have money, and they know that their life depends on those people. If those men with money turn around in a blink of a second, their life is no more. They can just vanish. But because of poverty, they are there putting their lives on the line of danger. If you are a man listening to me, my brother, my sister, don't choose a job. Anything you can do to put food on the table, to send your children to school, please, my brother, do it. Remember, your children, if you send them to school, they will be able to change the name of your family or change your name from being called a Mitumba man to, in normal circumstances, you cannot do. Believe me, you ladies, poverty is a dangerous disease that we need to fight by all means. Poverty has caused a lot of people to lose hope in life and surrender to drugs. A lot of people, because of poverty, has caused them to lose their lives. Just because of poverty, a lot of people have committed suicide. A lot of people have entered into depression just because of poverty, of giving up and losing hope. I'm here to tell you today, my brother, my sister, giving up should not be an option in your life by all means. Giving up should not be in your genes. Surrender should not be in your genes. Let us fight up to the last minute and pray to God. Put God first in everything that we do, that our God will be the lamp of our footsteps, the lamp of our feet, so that we can walk with God. And when God is for us, no one will be against us. Poverty has caused a lot of people to lose hope, ladies and gentlemen. In short, what I'm trying to say here is simple. The enemy of a man is poverty. It should not be another fellow human being. Let's not try to make other people's lives complicated than it is. This world is very cruel. So let us try to make life easier for each and every human being that we come across. I hate poverty because honestly, poverty can make you lick the wounds of those people that caused you those injuries before. Just because you have no means, you have no ways of putting up with your family's bills. You will have to work for those people that you hate, the people who have done a lot of injustice to you before. I know a guy who's working for a man who grabbed this piece of land by force because the guy has money. Now the guy is forced to farm in his own farm as a contractor, and then he gets paid. Just because this man has no choice, he has to work for that man. All I'm trying to say here, ladies and gentlemen, is simple. Let us unite forces, work together, day and night, to eliminate poverty from our lives. It's not funny to be poor. However, God has our lives in His hands. Let's pray, put God first, pray, and God will guide us. God in the book of Jeremiah 29, verse 11, that says, God has a plan for each and every person. Not only a plan, but a good plan. Let us join hands and work together, ladies and gentlemen. Let us work towards uplifting our human fellows' lives. If you are in a position of helping one another, don't use your position in power. Don't use your powers to mistreat others. There are a lot of people in power who have mistreated us before. But since we have no powers, we have nothing we can do to them. All we can do is pray to God and work for them and obey every instruction.